Well, I was just thinking about that, and I do occasionally have like I have throbbing on this toe.
The middle toe?
Yeah, I don't, that's where I have that callus too.
Yep,
so
you got a pretty big callus on the tip.
I'm wondering if that's why that sometimes happens. It's not all the time or even every day, but last night I had it for, a couple of like several second throbbings, and then it was done.
Yeah, most likely it's just that this callus that's up under the nail as well as on the tip here is just really thick.
Okay.
And so let's get that thinned out pretty good today.
Okay. I know I've been working on filing that down a little bit too.
Okay.
So yeah. Other than that, walking the dog and doing my gardening and all those good things.
Had a lot of gardeners in here today.
Just by coincidence, it's that time of year?
Well, yeah, one of them said, I just retired, and so now I was out in the garden all summer. And I haven't done that in a really long time, and yeah.
Well, this is a hard summer to do all that too, because it was so hot and dry.
Yeah, I was trying to grow some stuff, but then did you guys get like a really bad storm? Like it was like just super rainy, super like heavy winds. I think it was a few weeks ago.
There was a big windy event.
I can't recall yesterday, so.
But I had some thyme and some basil and some oregano, and sage. Thyme, basil, and sage, and it got knocked over in the storm. So that was sad.
They were all in containers?
Yep.
Yeah, especially if they get kind of top heavy and catch a lot of wind.
Mm-hmm.
I know I had a big planter. My husband came out and said, "Oh, look at that, the big planter fell over." But he just picked it up, so that wasn't too bad.
You can just relax here. There you go. Yeah.
All right. I don't know why I was...
Trying to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just normal. It's kind of what we all do.
With all those big wind events, I'm glad we had 2 big trees taken down in our backyard last December.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that in something there, damage would have happened, especially to my neighbor's house, which happened last year in September. And he had more damage from another neighbor's tree in September. No, I think it was in August this year. There was a big wind event too. A branch from our big 42-inch diameter tree hit just the side of, just glanced the side of his house. Didn't really do damage to the house, but it took the electrical pole down on his house, so he had no power.
I hope you let him run a...
Well, we would have, but he did get it repaired pretty quickly, so yeah, he didn't need to do that. But yeah, we would have, for sure.
I have a 100-gallon fish tank, saltwater tank in my house. And my next door neighbors have one of those generators.
Okay.
And so they have graciously agreed that if we lose power, I can go plug into their house so I don't lose my whole reef tank.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I don't care about the refrigerator. I care about...
Yeah, that's big
if the
expense in that.
Yeah, if the pumps go off for more than about 4 or 5 hours, everything's gonna die.
Oh boy, that's serious stuff.
Yeah.
What do you have in the tank?
It's a reef tank, so it's all salt water. It's got some anemones and different kinds of saltwater fish. And lots of little creepy crawlers to keep it clean.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had that for probably 20 years now.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Well, you grew up with being near the ocean. That probably helps.
Yeah, there's days I just open up underneath it and just breathe. Kind of smells like the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
I try to do that when nobody's home, though.
Okay.
It looks a little weird.
Uh-huh.
Were these healthy trees that you took down?
Well, they were large, and we didn't know there was rotting in the center.
Oh,
And they were like, this was like 4 huge limbs that came off this elm tree that was 42 inches. So it was like 4 big trees, really. And it was a Chinese elm, so it took a lot of wind, you know, just moved back and forth, and we'd had the arborist look at it several times. No, I think that'll be fine, but it was time, because they couldn't see that part either. And the canopy was thinning, but it was a very tall tree, very big. And we don't have easy access to our yard. They didn't use a crane though. I was lucky enough to find a tree trimmer that actually comes in, and they had 2 tree climbers that cut down the limbs, and then they just dropped them on the yard, and it was December, so basically the ground's frozen. And then they had this big, bit different than a bobcat, it's called the dingo. And they put down these heavy-duty cement boards from the street out into our backyard. And we just had to open up part of the chain link fence so they could come back with this dingo and pick it up with a big claw, the big pieces, and carry them out to the street and put them in the truck and take them away.
Nice.
So it was like half the price of all the people that offered to do it with the crane.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I've referred other people to that guy's work too, because I thought they did a great job.
This is the one that was hurting?
Yeah.
Let me have you come around here. All right, so this right here, you got it? So I think it was partly because the nail was so thick, but also because you have this very thick callus on the tip. Have we shown you the little crest roll pads that sit underneath and lift this up?
No.
All right, I'm going to show you that before you go,
Okay.
and maybe have you try that and see. It's not going to help the nail, but if we can keep this callus down, then maybe we can keep you more comfortable.
Okay. We'll take a look at that.
Yep. Others. All right, everything here looks good. So before you put shoes and socks on, let me get you that little pad here for that toe.
Okay.
And we'll see how that works. So thank you for letting me do the video.
Sure.
And keep going. All right, so hang on just 1 minute. I'm gonna go get that pad and I will be right back.
Okay. I'll stay right here.
Okay.
So what did you do with your herbs now? Are you doing something for the winter?
I think I might go back to Home Depot and buy some more and then just have them inside instead.
Do you have a freezer?
Yeah.
Have you thought about freezing the fresh herbs? It actually works out really slick.
I haven't.
I'm an old person and I'm a cook, so I've done that a lot. And I've heard of different things, but I find it best if I just pick my basil and chop it and freeze it. Or I just heard of a new thing I'm gonna try. I already tried, and cut off my basil and put it in a bag, and after it's frozen, then just smack the bag and break all the basil off the stems, and then freeze it like that. And it's just like fresh basil.
Wow.
It doesn't turn black, which you'd think it would. And I've heard about putting it in ice cubes. I tried that and I said, well, that's really inconvenient because that's not the amount I want to use. And then it's frozen in an ice cube. So I just chopped it up on my own whim and put it in the freezer like that, labeled it with the year and stuff because sometimes things get away from you. And it works great. I had basil all winter long, and I made things in January and February with fresh basil.
Wonderful.
Nice.
I just wanted to suggest that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, so this is what we call our crest roll.
Okay.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it over these two toes and it just sits underneath here. And when you step, it lifts this toe back up so that instead of walking on the tip of the toe, you're back walking on the pad of the toe.
Okay.
Okay? So let's have you give that a try.
Okay.
And you'll let me know next time if it worked.
Okay.
All right, well, thanks again. And we'll see you back in a couple of months.
Okay.